You're listening to the BBM Global Network with 25 years in broadcast audio and video production. Our passionate team creates content and marketing for the world of Internet Talk Radio. If you've got a passion, come join us at bbmglobalnetwork.com. The BBM Global Network. Your voice is now heard.
Welcome to The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change with your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Listen as Aurora brings good news to an awakening world and sacred healing using powerful and transformational tools. So now, please welcome the host of The Oracle, Dr. Aurora Ariel.
Aloha and welcome to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and we're broadcasting live across the universe on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. The title of our show is The Violet Age, A Return to Eden, How to Live an Abundant Life, Anchoring Heaven on Earth in Your Own Life Experience. And Turiya Vallis, the host of Awakening Heart Network, will be joining me as we explore this exciting topic. But before I bring her on, I just want to share a little bit about the Violet Age and give you the essence, transfer the essence of the time we are in and why it is so transformative, what we're really about here and what's truly happening beneath all the calamities and craziness going on Earth today, which I'm sure is trying to take all of your attention. And I'm so glad you've tuned in to my show today because I'm here to bring you the good news of what's happening on planet Earth that really deserves equal time and consideration. So one of the miracles of the Violet Age is that we now have the technology to go deep within our psyche and heal the human patterns that have created havoc in our world. So as we restore the inner patterns to our innate perfection, we will see that reflected in the outer world. This is how we are birthing a new world out of an old era. Archaic beliefs, systems, and programs are being updated within and around us. We are in the new time, a glorious new age, right on time to play our unique roles in Earth's illustrious destiny. To set the framework for the show today, I'm going to share an excerpt from my book, Earth 2012-33, The Violet Age, A Return to Eden. And it's the chapter on the Great Shift. So tune in and see if you resonate with this. You have known you are different, that you have a unique role to play. You've been called into action, inspired by planetary conditions, but sometimes you have felt lost, not remembering who you are. The challenges on the planet are so great, they can be overpowering, causing you to feel overwhelmed. You are not alone. There are millions of souls just like you, feeling the same way and sometimes falling under the weight of planetary conditions and human programming. Knowing you are one of many with an important destiny to fulfill can help you relax and let go of the need to do it all alone or to feel responsible for the outcome of our present world dilemma. By releasing the human need to fix things, you allow your authentic self to manifest its vision in the world. You become a vessel of healing and truth, of right action and timely initiative. It is then you can do your greatest work and make the most difference. The great shift is happening within you now, catalyzing you to new heights of conscious awareness, to a greater compassion and empathy for the plights of others, to a depth of realization as the authentic self awakens fully within you. Gently, you emerge from the myth that you are less than you are, that somehow you are limited, overburdened, stressed out person that so often greets you in the mirror. You lay to rest the unconscious patterns of the past and step free into your authentic reality, and everything looks different. From this higher vantage point, you see the truth of what's going on, the significance of this passage through this time period, 2012 to 33, and what your life on earth is really about. With millions of people undergoing this inner shift, we are healing the dire prophecies for our time from within. We are averting disaster and birthing a new reality so far beyond our present comprehension, it is fulfilling the higher spectrum predictions in the birth of a new world. This is powerful. This divine happening is unparalleled in Earth history. Significantly violet, its emphasis is a personal and planetary transformation that turns the tide on every dire prophecy. This is the miracle of the violet age. As darkness rises into full view, the truth is revealed at last. We are seeing things as they really are, and we are releasing ourselves and humanity as a whole from bondage. We are in the midst of a spectacular destiny each of us came to Earth to be a part of. We've sacrificed so much to be here, and yet we long to see the shining vista of our visions, the great blessing before us in our world. And we are, as each of us fulfills our reason for being here. We are the violet race, wayshowers heralding in the violet age. We hold the key to freedom, enlightenment, and peace. The vision of a transformed world is encoded in our hearts. It is a fire within our souls that compels us to seek the truth, heal the shadow, and reclaim our lost power. We are reestablishing the divine matrix within the psyche of humanity, initiating the awakening. This is our destiny, the reason we came to Earth at this time. Because we are here, the world will never be the same. It's been an amazing journey as I came to Earth really on fire and entered this quest for truth early on in my teens. And I wanted to understand, why is this world such a mess? Why is there so much suffering? Why are good people suffering? Why do people that live all the highest spiritual formulas have all these challenges and are falling under the weight of all these planetary conditions? And through my pioneering work in the psyche over many, many years, I was able to find the answers to that. And so it's such a great love of mine to bring forth timely information and to give these alchemical keys. And in this show today, we're bringing another piece of the puzzle, how you can clear your life so that you are really operating from the authentic self, not living the dictates of the human programs that will just create more and more chaos in your world and the world around you, and really do no good for the planet. If we are here to avert the disasters of this time, the dire potentials, the cataclysms that have been prophesied forever for this time period, then we have to clean up our inner world. We have got to change the inner equation. We need to undergo a sacred alchemy and step free to bring our highest gifts and our illumined selves to the equation. It's an exciting time to be on this earth, and it's really been such a great blessing to have this show sponsored and assisted so that I can bring out the good news every week. And if you're enjoying this, I hope you will be staying attuned and spread the word for me about the show and get more and more people on board. Because the more we align together, the more we link up, forming an antakarana of light around the planet, the more we are committed to clearing the debris, the archaic belief systems that have run this virus in our human computer systems, so that we can be the illumined ones, the more faster our world is going to change. And we're going to be in that future we came to fulfill as our highest destiny potential in this time. After the break, Turiya will be with me. We'll be delving more deeply into this profound topic. I'm Aurora Juliana Ariel, and you're listening to The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. So we'll be right back.
Have you been dreaming of that ideal getaway? A sacred adventure where you are completely restored and renewed. Join Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel for her Mastery Intensive Red Rock Adventure in Sedona in May, or the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey in September. Want to know what to expect in the coming times? Read her award-winning Earth 2012 to 33 books. Sign up for her newsletter to stay abreast of all her offerings, healing specials, Earth 2012 to 33 updates, insights from the Oracle, secrets of eternal youth, and more at aurorajulianaariel.com. Ready to realize a greater potential? Experience her 33-day self-actualization programs, healing music for an awakening world, or healing activations available under products. Ready for a total life transformation? Sign up for her one-year program. Want a distance healing from Aurora? Check out her virtual healing center with its wide array of healing modalities and skilled healers under Healing Menu at sacredalchemy.com.
Welcome back to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. We're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio, and I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. Today, we're going to be speaking on the Violet Age, a return to Eden, and how you can live an abundant life, anchoring heaven on earth in your own life experience. We have a lot of knowledge between my guest Turiya Vallis and I, and so we're really excited to bring this information to you, this piece to the puzzle of the human equation, how we can share more from our authentic selves and live the lives that we are really meant for, even while doing the cleanup we're here to fulfill and cleansing ourselves from all of these programs of beliefs. Turiya Vallis is a very dear friend and colleague of mine who has been hosting my global healing forums the second Saturday of each month since mid-2015 on the Awakening Heart Network she co-founded and hosts. This has been incredible, as what we're seeing is pretty amazing every month of just the gifts, the healings, the activations, the advancement, the knowledge. So I hope you'll tune into that as well. Turiya is an award-winning singer and songwriter, an author and behavioral therapist who has been privileged to interview some of the most transformational spiritual healers on the planet. Awakening Heart Network really has a pretty awesome telesummit ongoing with the most illustrious people you can imagine. So really good to tune into that. And you can find that at awakeningheartnetwork.com. She loves to help people remember the truth of who they are and to awaken to their own inner divine. So welcome, Turiya. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Aurora, thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be here and to say hello to everybody. Greetings. It's going to be an amazing show. I cannot wait to just dive right in.
There's a lot of light flowing, and it's something that happens on the Global Healing Forums, too. There's just so much light flowing. A lot of healing takes place because we're coming to you with our authentic selves, being vessels of a greater light and healing for the planet. And so as we all show up in this way, so much gets transferred, even beyond our conscious awareness of what could take place. And so even though this seems like a regular radio show, it's a healing forum. There's a lot of healing blessings going on, and will continue through the show. So those of you that have inner sight or inner feeling, tune in and see if you're picking up any of that. And you can let us know after the show. It'd be great to hear from you. All right, Turiya, we are in a pretty amazing time. And I know you and I have the same awareness and inner sight, which has made it really fun when we work together on the Global Healing Forums each month. Being able to see the divine actions taking place, the healing in the people, the soul advancements, the cleaning up of the earth. And this is very violet action, very violet reaction taking place on the earth. We're getting a lot of help from the divine realms. We're getting assistance on so many levels from each other, from our mentors, from the divine ones, to really actualize our greater potential in this time. And so I want to hear from your perspective the significance you're seeing in these forums, the violet ray action taking on place today, and what you're seeing in your telesummits as well. I mean, this is a big happening going on, and there's a lot of people plugging into these, participating, receiving activations, and this is really like a new era in personal and planetary transformation.
Yeah, I love the way you put it. What is actually happening? So a lot's going on around the Earth herself. There are a massive ascension program mechanism. Something has actually been triggered in the planet herself, and she is choosing to ascend to a new and much higher level. And you couple that with the fact that everybody is feeling these bumps. People are having a lot of stuff inside of them jarred. I mean, one of the things that you do incredibly well, Aurora, in fact, I don't know anybody who does it as well as you do, is work with the inner aspects and the aspects of the psyche. And so those parts of us that are not ready to go forward, they come out. And so that's what we're seeing in the world today. We're seeing people who are, it seems like there's so much that's so wrong going on so many levels, but actually it's a harbinger of good. We are facing a time when the world herself is ascending, and the choices that we've made inside of us are coming out now. And so this is happening through frequency. The title of the show, The Violet Age. That's a frequency. The work that you do in your activations matches that frequency. It kind of pulls everybody into it. And so on the outside, it looks really, really bad in some ways for people. But you know what? We have to go into our own personal choice. What are we here to do? What do we want to do? And the fact that when we know we can achieve it, then all the stuff outside becomes just an opportunity. It's like, a way, it's like the alchemist's work. We can transform that into pure gold by choosing inside of us to raise in frequency, to take advantage of forums, your wonderful radio show, the Global Healing Forum, any way that we can to raise our frequency into that violet. We are allowing ourselves and our whole world to change. So it's all about seeing what's really happening, knowing how to call it what it is in the midst of a tremendous amount of confusion and fear, and realizing that this is the perfect way to move forward.
Yeah, it's really significant that we're in this violet age right now, that we've entered a very violet time. I mean, this was not happening a very short time ago. And as we, which I call the violets, because we're the ones undergoing the personal and planetary transformation, as we came in, we just started rocking and rolling when we came of age. It's like we are very different from the normal humans that were evolving more slowly on this planet. It's like we do not sit with the patterns. We do not want to be angry people, jealous people, upset people. We're striving for a higher way, a higher destiny. We're lifting our heads up and seeing things from a higher vantage point. And it's really bringing this world to a critical mass point where a lot of change is underway. So we're going to be going deeply into the change in a minute, and also bringing some tools in for everybody so that we make it all easier for us all. There's some really power tools that you could be using. So I want to have you all get ready, fasten your seatbelts, and we are going to be back soon. This is Aurora Juliana Ariel on the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. We're broadcasting live across the universe on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and I'm here with my guest, Turiya Vallis. We are having the greatest time bringing you this very happy information because the violet ray is a joy flame, really, and so transmutation can be a joyous experience. I know a lot of you feel bogged down with the issues, the patterns, the things playing out in your life, but you don't need to take so much time in the misery. I found a way out, a very fast way, and it's a sacred alchemy process that literally transforms the baser aspects of self into the gold of your true nature. So within minutes, you can be back to your authentic self, but even on a next level, because you've healed and transformed all of these ancient patterns, programs, belief systems that were encoded in your family and passed down and your soul lineage. And that would just continue and create havoc in your future. I think one of the most important things, Turiya, that I found in my pioneering research and work was that it's from that level, that causal level in our psyches, that all ills are coming forth. I don't think most people understand that yet, and it's something I just want to shout from the rooftops because I see everybody around me just bogged down all the time, and they're upset for 7 days. They're angry, for 3 weeks. They're having these conditions that could be cleaned up so fast if they just did a inner process, an inner alchemy. And this is very violet ray. The violet ray transmutes. It's transmuting the dross from the human consciousness. And in this time, there's a lot of support for that, but it's just not going to clean up on its own. I mean, we all have to roll up our sleeves and really do the inner work. So I developed a 7-step process called the Quest that Turiya actually loves, and she does it. I live on it. Seriously, I don't want any more downtime than I need to have. I'm not interested in being bogged down in the human consciousness, in the throes of upset, and not being my full potential self, because I have, through this inner work over so many years, gotten acclimated to being in my authentic self. My authentic self is proactive and positive and vibrant and passionate about life and excited and happy and skilled and knowledgeable and wise. Why would I want to be in the limitation of the human self? And this is something we all need to ask ourselves every day. What are we choosing? And so, Turiya, do you want to comment on this? Because I think it's the biggest crux here. If more people could just understand this and turn within when they're upset and do the quest or another process and heal those inner aspects that are the troubled ones that are creating the trouble, we would have a different world so fast. It'd just be amazing. So what's your take on it as importance of inner work in this time period when we're traversing this very critical time in this advent of the violet age?
I think I'm so glad that you brought this up, and I'm glad we're getting to talk about this, because what people don't understand, that the really important key is to understand who and what you are, and to know when you're in different states. Am I happy? Am I vibrating at the happiest state? Am I vibrating at the highest joyous level? And people can do all kinds of energy work, and they may not have tapped into the aspect work. And that will actually be like a huge weight that'll sink people down, because until you deal with the parts in the subconscious that you may or may not know about. I had one speaker once say to me that a wise teacher told him, if you want to know what you really want, take a look at what you already have. Because what we have has been manufactured by the subconscious parts of ourselves. And so when we want to change things, when we want to vibrate at higher levels, we can do so much, but guess what? We can actually be dragged back because we haven't handled these aspects which are in turmoil, the aspects which are unconscious, the aspects which are suffering. And people might say, well, what aspects? We're actually a continuum. We're multidimensional beings. There are parts of us that are living in different places at different times. We're not just talking about past lives or future lives. We're talking about genetic patterning. We're talking about multidimensional places where we exist. And all those parts are experiencing things and bringing them into this present moment that we know right here on planet Earth in this second. And so when you go in and do the quest, things that have been functioning in your life that have been bringing about all kinds of, problems, straight up. It's really about problems. Maybe you don't have the kind of joy you want. Maybe you have depression. Maybe you have sadness. Maybe stuff is going wrong with your kids. And you might say, well, how can doing the inner work suddenly make things change on the outer? You know what? It does. And all the people that I've spoken with and all the folks that I've interviewed over the years, everybody basically says the same thing. Once you clear up the subconscious, everything on the outside clears up. And from talking to so many people, I just know, Aurora, like your work is so fast. It is so powerful. And everybody, I used to do this work myself before meeting Aurora. And then by the time I met you, Aurora, I was really primed for the quest for your work because I was so familiar with it. I knew how true and valid it was, and I knew how important it was to do this work. I had just never met anyone who had put it together in a way that was so fast and so successful and got rid of so much gunk. And so the rub of it is this, as we are aspiring for better and better things, it really doesn't matter what's going on outside. I swear to God, you have to understand that the most important part is what's going on inside. And by shifting this, we become this beacon of love and light, and our lives transform. Nothing can stop us, but we can stop ourselves. And so we have to get balance. We have to get a new sense of who we are and commitment to ourselves. And I love the quest. I love what you're doing, Aurora, because it allows for us to shift into higher frequencies really quickly, like you said. And so the violet age is about frequency. It's about joy and love. It's about things we might not have ever seen in our lives before. But we can have all of this. If we can dream it, we can have it. Mostly the way to get there is by changing what's inside. Got to change what's inside.
Yeah, it's the most important alchemical key I believe I bring forward. And I'm so glad you're on the same page because so many people feel they're doing enough. They meditate. They pray, they set clear intentions, they do affirmations, they eat well, they have balanced lives, and yet things are coming unglued in their lives. They might have health issues and more, and they don't understand why. So we're going to go a little deeper into this and demystify it when we get back. So I hope you're all ready and you might want to take notes on this and get ready for that. I'm Aurora Juliana Ariel, and you're listening to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. We're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And we're going to be right back with some very exciting information.
Have you been dreaming of that ideal getaway? A sacred adventure where you are completely restored and renewed. Join Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel for her Mastery Intensive Red Rock Adventure in Sedona in May, or the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey in September. Want to know what to expect in the coming times? Read her award-winning Earth 2012 to 33 books. Sign up for her newsletter to stay abreast of all her offerings, healing specials, Earth 2012 to 33 updates, insights from the Oracle, secrets of eternal youth, and more at aurorajulianaariel.com. Ready to realize a greater potential? Experience her 33-day self-actualization programs, healing music for an awakening world, or healing activations available under products. Ready for a total life transformation? Sign up for her one-year program. Want a distance healing from Aurora? Check out her virtual healing center with its wide array of healing modalities and skilled healers under Healing Menu at sacredalchemy.com.
Welcome back to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and we're broadcasting live across the universe on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. So we're talking about the Violet Age, a return to Eden, and how to live an abundant life, anchoring heaven on earth in your own life experience. And Turiya Vallis and I from Awakening Heart Network are bringing you some really important alchemical keys. And we cannot stress enough how important the violet ray work is in this time, which is inner work, the inner transmutation of the baser aspects of self into the gold of our true nature. And so in this part of the show, we're going to talk about some of the miracles of when you do this inner work, because I know everyone came and wanted to be on a glorious planet and were shocked and horrified at what they saw. And also that in your heart of hearts, you want to live an abundant life because you're an abundant being. You're a divine being that wealth is your innate birthright and your true authentic self. And so I know there's a lot of people intent on wanting to anchor heaven on earth, to bring peace back to the planet, to bring us into a golden age of light. Well, this show today is giving you some powerful keys to how you can do it in your own life. Turiya and I practice this. I've done it forever. I become a master of it. So I love training people in my Sedona Mastery Intensives every year in May and October, and on a world tour every year. This year it is going to be through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey on an amazing cruise, the Oracle Sacred Destiny cruise. So if you're interested in learning, mastering, and being your authentic self most often and fulfilling a higher destiny than your human programs would dictate, see if you want to jump into that and attend our Global Healing Forums monthly, because a lot's getting cleared at the deep causal levels. A lot of inner aspects are healed each time. And today we set it up so there's a lot of healing going on for all of you too today. And I hope you're feeling that and feeling the shift and feeling the burdens lifted. So why is inner work so important? The aspects of self that are creating havoc in your world are calling for your attention. See me, help me from the unconscious. A lot of times you just want to shut them up because it doesn't feel good. But that will only allow them to create the dysfunctional relationships, the financial issues, and everything in your life. If you don't listen and if you don't tend to them, life's going to go on as it always have. You will not realize a higher destiny. You will not be living in your authentic self, being a vessel of a higher, greater divine plan, and you'll be bogged down living the misery that humans have lived forever on this planet. So we're going to go into some of the miracles. I know Turiya picked up the quest and ran with it. She didn't even need a training on it. What have you seen in your own life? Like, what are some of the miracles? What are some of the outcomes you're seeing when you've done inner work? Do you have any specific instances you can remember, anything particular that you were working on and then it just all seemed to miraculously change?
Yeah, and I think that that's real important, Aurora, that we speak to the fact that every day we have to do things in the physical, and it's really, really important. But this is very different than a meditative state. We're not going in and doing we're actually going in and you're actually working with the part that's in resistance, that's stopping a particular manifestation from happening. So I've worked on myself and I've worked on aspects of people in my family doing the quest, and you can do the quest and work on it with them in person or, not working on them in person, just doing it, and what will happen is that things around that will really, really change, like opportunities in the world. Like I might go in and work on stuff around, having more abundance come, and then suddenly situations happen that I did not initiate. Or working on things to stop fear from happening, like in one of, people that I know, working with somebody using the quest to heal fear, and suddenly they'll come upon an aspect and it will shift and they will no longer have fear. So these kind of things happen all the time. So on the Telesummit, we get kind of, the feedback and the testimonials from people who are doing the work. And, in terms of Aurora's work, they send feedback in about how many miracles they have in all different areas. And so what I want people to understand is whether it's financial, whether it's your health healing, I do it and I am in better health today than I have ever been because the energy is freed from your inner self and it goes and it just heals up the entire being. So you're releasing this energy and outside the resistance ceases and things come back. So I've had monetary things shift. I've had people that I've worked with very closely and I've also done it and have experienced immediate emotional shifts. I've also experienced huge shifts in my actual mental states and my capacity to do more and think more and be more. So it's allowed me to be in my world in a better way. And from everybody I know who sends back in their testimonials and feedback about, working with Aurora, if I've done the quest with them, it's all amazing. It's all instantaneous. And people are pretty stunned at how they feel and how things change around them.
Yeah, I have to say, I've just seen countless miracles through the years. I started developing this in my teens. It really came out of a dire necessity of facing some really horrific challenges, and I just started being drawn within, to focus on the parts of me that were upset. I've actually healed 2 incurable illnesses in myself. I've helped countless people change their destiny lines. Maybe I've been abused for 60 years and jump off that line by working with them in a period of time where we were healing all the inner aspects that were wired with love equals abuse, and bringing in ever new abusers in their life. Actually having a lot of people have had successful relationships now, being completely cleared and freed from this program of abuse. And that's a miracle, because up until now, they're only having 1% success rate with this. I've helped youth at risk jump off very dark futures or getting arrested and having trouble in school onto amazing bright futures, going into amazing new life, really. And it's an amazing thing to do it weekly every time an issue comes up, because you're always on that ascension wave up to this greater, more fuller aspect of who you are. When we get back, we're going to be talking about how this can alter your future. Secrets to leading a very different life than the one you're stuck in right now. So please hold on, because it's going to get really exciting. And I want to thank you for listening with us and being a part of this today. It's the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. And I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. We'll be right back.
Have you been dreaming of that ideal getaway? A sacred adventure where you are completely restored and renewed. Join Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel for her Mastery Intensive Red Rock Adventure in Sedona in May, or the Oracle Sacred Destiny Cruise through the ancient temples of Italy, Greece, and Turkey in September. Want to know what to expect in the coming times? Read her award-winning Earth 2012-33 books. Sign up for her newsletter to stay abreast of all her offerings, healing specials, Earth 2012-33 updates, insights from the Oracle, secrets of eternal youth, and more at aurorajulianaariel.com. Ready to realize a greater potential? Experience her 33-day self-actualization programs, healing music for an awakening world, or healing activations available under products. Ready for a total life transformation? Sign up for her 1-year program. Want a distance healing from Aurora? Check out her virtual healing center with its wide array of healing modalities and skilled healers under healing menu at sacredalchemy.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and we're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Turiya Vallis of the Awakening Heart Network and I have been delving pretty deeply into the cause and core of the adversity on this planet, and why, when we all came in together in this time to make the change, why we chose to take on the patterns from the family lineages to help transmute it in this time. The reason being that these patterns and programs that are viruses in the human psyche, we're creating all the havoc. We're creating all the detrimental things we've seen on this planet. It's all coming out of the human psyche. If you don't believe that, scientists are proving it today that we're in a very highly mutable, very easily changeable field, holographic field called Earth. And our thoughts, feelings, beliefs, behaviors do impact reality. When we do inner work, when we heal inner aspects that are creating adversity in our lives, whether an ailment, a financial thing, an issue with a loved one, we change the movie. It's like dialing into another channel, and it can be as miraculous as taking place in minutes, where you go out of the room to do your session and you are just in the throes of a really bad relationship dynamic. You come back out after doing your session and it's almost like you're with a different person, and all that never happened, and now you talk consciously together and resolve and move forward. I see miracles all the time with this. I live on this technology. I would not live on this planet without it, and I wouldn't do relationship without it. So it's really an essential key here. And so now we're going to talk about how and why it changes your future, how it changes your outer reality. And I just see it all the time. Turiya, The things that we're seeing also in the global healing forums, during the forums, I'm a vessel of light and healing from the higher realms of light. It's just a divine connection I've had since my youth, and inner work I was doing more quietly and behind closed doors up until a couple years ago, until I got known and dragged out into the world to give these things globally. And what I'm seeing, which is so different from normal activations and blessings and clearings, is that the work that we're doing on these global healing forums are these mass healings in the psyche of humanity. And each time we do a forum, I see that the action begins with the clearing of the subconscious programs that every soul that is linked up with us at this time, at that time point, and even people on the replay, as that gets cleared, I'm seeing then activations taking place, cleansing the pineal, activating the third eye, putting these amazing destiny codes into the DNA and restoring the soul to its innate divinity. And as that happens, I've been watching a miracle, and something I didn't know and understood the equation of until we were doing this. And I kept seeing it across the board in clients, students, and on the forums, that as we clear the unconscious debris, it literally allows our divine selves to come down and anchor in our physical reality. And that's part of what's been the problem here on Earth. All the dilemmas are born because everyone all day long was in their shadow selves running the programs. So there was no room for the authentic self, the divine self, the indwelling spirit to even manifest its vision, its intention for us, its abundance, and the abundant life in our worlds. And so what happened is that for millennia past, the higher self was always up a crystal cord, and some initiates through time would go up in meditation and connect and get wisdom and draw it back down for the people, for their students. However, living in that self 24/7 has rarely ever been done on this earth because of the human programs. So as we're seeing them transform, I'm seeing the divine self anchor in, and even now some of you might be feeling it because I've been doing a lot of healing work as I am talking. Yeah, multi-faceted women can do multitasking. And what is really great that I'm seeing across the board in everyone is tons of aspects have been coming up and transforming during this call, but also the divine self now is coming and anchoring in. And when that self anchors in, when we are living from that self, when that self is at the command center of our being, dictating our reality, we are living a higher destiny. We are fulfilling a higher divine plan. We are one with the greater divine plan. What is the outcome? The abundant life, because that self is abundant. Our lives begin flourishing the more we live in that self. And I've been able to attain this in the high 90 percentile of time using this technology of the quest. Turiya, what is your take on that of actualizing our greater potential through clearing the way? And what miracles and future potential can that show for ourselves and our world?
Well, yeah, I think that it's pretty instantaneous also. I think that all of the miracles happen, and I think that we have been cut off in a certain way from our mind, and the mind kind of goes off and creates through vibration. But the soul has an idea of what wants to happen and what should happen and what is good. The possibilities. I love the work that you're doing with understanding that once this work is done, we've literally changed a different timeline. So once you've done the inner work, outside things shift because you stepped into a new timeline. And there are other people who actually talk about this. It's been written about. Scientists are studying this, like when you went into the holographic universe and the ideas of how science is showing that this is true. And so when we change things on the inside, things shift on the outside because the resonance and frequency changes. We might think we're in the same world, but literally it's a miracle new world, that new timeline we've stepped onto. It's amazing.
That's why we have the opportunity to completely transform the world in this time. And we're in the time that this was prophesied that it would happen. We're also in the time of dire potentials that have been prophesied, even from scientists and geologists and everyone. So we got a lot of cleanup to do to change the future, but we're all doing a great job. When we get back, we're going to go more deeply, another level deeper, and more healing that's going to be flowing forth for everybody. So you have been listening to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel. We're broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Really don't hold your breath too much, but this is going to be the next facet of this exciting information we're bringing through that is really critical to completely transform your life. So stay tuned. We're going to be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and I'm with Turiya Vallis of Awakening Heart Network, and we've been so excited to bring these missing keys to you, because the more we all live in our authentic selves, most often, the faster this whole transformation is going to occur across the earth, the more we're going to be redialing ourselves to ever new, more glorious futures, and the faster we're going to step into a Garden of Eden beyond belief, because it's right there ahead of us for us all. Turiya, any last thoughts on this topic and help for our audience?
I just want to encourage everybody listening to know that the changes can all happen. They are all happening, and they can happen faster than you possibly would know. Just by doing the inner work, things outside shift. You go into a deeper sense of calm and peace, and the world around you shifts. And as you said before, if we're all doing the inner work, everybody outside is going to reflect this, and our world changes. I've seen it time and time again. So I just encourage everybody to do the inner work and watch the miracles happen.
You know, I've been so profoundly touched by what's going on in our global healing forums every month. I mean, we don't have time today. I would love to talk about how we were called into this and the light was flowing, how much takes place in them. But I want to encourage everyone, if you want to clear the way out of the human matrix, if you want to be free to live in your enlightened self and be in that self most often, please join us. It really does help. We're like never the same afterwards, and the world is never the same, because so much healing takes place in each one that we're on this whole new page. And then when you do the inner work as your issues arise during the month as well, it just puts you on this fast-moving train of such an accelerated soul advancement the world has never seen. So I really want to encourage everybody to do the inner work, change your life. Do not let yourself be bogged down with all these human programs and patterns and self-esteem issues and looking at yourselves as so much less than you truly are and living so small when you are a divine being of great light, an illumined, eternal, immortal spirit. It's time to spread your wings, to rise up and sing your song in this earth, to bring your unique offerings, to stand in the light with all of us who are just having to be so brave to be these front runners. And we need you. We need all of us together to make this big change. And this is one of the greatest ways that we can do it for the planet. And it is so much even more powerful than the projects and endeavors we're bringing forward, because it's an alchemical process that's literally transforming the world from within. It has a lot of divine ones, a lot of divine sponsorship. We have everything we need to do this. So I want to thank Turiya. Thank you so much for being on. If you want to find out more about her amazing telesummit and all the incredible people she always has on there and all these fun and free things and packages, go to her website, awakeningheartnetwork.com. Next week, we'll begin our journey into love in time for Valentine's Day with exciting conversations, insights, and tools on how to have more love in your life. And this will include information on soulmates, twin flames, divine mates, and how to use relationship as a path to wholeness. You've been listening to The Oracle, a voice of positive planetary change, broadcasting live on BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Aurora Juliana Ariel, and I hope to see you here with me next week.
This has been Paradigm Shifting with your host, Veronica Entwistle. Together, we can move away from what we already know and feel about this complex, multidimensional universe and shift into a more mutually recognizable higher frequency paradigm on the next episode of Veronica Entwistle's Paradigm Shifting.
You've been listening to the BBM Global Network. The ideas, views, and opinions of this broadcast are those of the participants of the program and are not necessarily the ideas, views, and opinions of the BBM Global Network Company.